It says I'm live. Okay. So hopefully I am here. Hello, 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 friends, and happy birthday to me. Yes, today is my birthday. Whoop, whoop. I'd sing for you, but I totally suck. And that means that Chalupa and Tamale would probably start howling if I attempted to sing. So we're just not going to do that. We're just not. Oh, goodness. I see Monica. Hi, Monica. Hi, Joseph. I hope you guys are doing well. I have a number of things to cover. Just making sure that people can hear me and all of that stuff because, it didn't connect right away. And then I had to come back in. Hashtag technical crap going on because that's what it is. But this morning I woke up, hey, Tiny, and Tiny created the most awesome piece of artwork ever, the best birthday present ever. Absolutely love it. I posted it on my community tab. Happy birthday. Thank you, Renee. I posted what Tiny created on my community tab. It was on Twitter. I've put it on Facebook. I'm just so thrilled. That's beautiful. And I absolutely love it. And everybody else loves it too. So thank you so, so much for that. It just rocks. Rocks. But, I've got to share with you something else that happened today. And Monica, because, Monica and I do this, like sending voice clips like all the live long day to each other. Because I was pitched today. On my birthday, I was pitched, but what I'm going to do, because she did not hear what the initial conversation was, because the first time we connected, February 11th of 2018, okay? This person and I, that's when we became Facebook friends. And so I get this. Hi, Alonda, so happy to connect here. Are you really a hot mess? At the time my page was, she's a hot mess. And I thought I was going to be like doing social media coaching. Please don't send any hate. It's just where my headspace was. And I said, I'm transitioning my page's name. No, I am not. Lol, you're so funny. Yes, that can be a bit of a nightmare. So tell me a little bit about what you do. And here's where some of the embarrassing part. And let me see. Okay. I don't know why I said this to her, but it says, by the way, I have degrees in sociology and anthropology, also fashion illustration and instructional design and technology. I think it was something on her. I think her background was in sociology or something. And so I was like, talking about stuff. I help female entrepreneurs who struggle with personal branding. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I was trying to do, and they're verbal on social media. Did you listen to that garbage? This is what I'm saying I do. I also take on corporate clients and continue to design and develop corporate training, typically e-learning. Wow, busy woman and a ton of expertise. Congrats on all your success. And since that day, that was on February 12th where we had that conversation, we have not spoken until today when I'm pitched. Let's say. And it says, hello and happy birthday week to you, Alonda. I hope it's fantastic, even though we're all adjusting and accommodating. I see we've already had a bit of a conversation going 2 years. Was that 2 years ago? I mean, really? A bit of a conversation? I mean, I would say that's like some introductory words from a long time ago, but that's just me. For your special occasion, here it comes. I'd like to extend an invitation to my private community. How is that going to help me? You don't really know anything about me, but you're going to extend this one time for me because it's my special day. Wow. And then she tells me what it's called. It's exclusively for women, a place for ladypreneurs, super moms, and sisters making a difference. We share strategies, solutions, and inspiration to help us all win in life and business. I'd be delighted to include you. Please let me know if it's okay to add you in. And I said, thank you for the birthday wishes. And thank you for that invite, but I'm going to decline. I don't have time for Facebook groups. I mean, it's like really the ones that I'm in are anti-MLM, and it's not like I don't go around all the live long day in social media. But thank you. But I just found that it reminded me very much of MLM kind of a thing, because I have seen posts where on someone's birthday or anniversary, somebody is like, and this happened to me last year. Someone who was a Beachbody coach at the time when I was a Beachbody coach sent me birthday wish and then wanted me to buy their new stuff. And I think they were doing some kind of makeup and they had some kind of discount for me, on my special day. It's like, why would you jank up someone's birthday? But I know, hashtag, you're just trying to make your business work, but I thought I'd share that with you because I thought it was really funny. And then Monica shared with me, Monica Zambada. If you don't love her channel and subscribe and all that stuff, you should, because she rocks. And I love her to pieces. Hence, I talk about her all the time. But she's told me that there's someone with Unique that like every year on her birthday, pitches her. And it's like, why does that go on? Why does anyone think it's a good idea to pitch you on your birthday or some other special day? I mean, has that happened to you? Because I found it comical. Honestly, I just found it so funny. Good night. This is the second straw that it like has a hole in it. So I'm trying to suck it in and it's like not working. So I'm just going to try to make it work on my own. I wanted to share with you, and I will, in an upcoming video, I'll put an image about this place, but I wanted to share with you the business, the restaurant that we supported this week. And I want to say this originates out of Austin. I'd have to look it up, and I'm not going to do that right now. Anyway, it's called Velvet Taco. And typically, when we go to Velvet Taco, if I can talk, I never can talk when I'm live. Why is that? It's like words just stumble, or I stumble, whatever, I stammer. Anyway, Velvet Taco, when we go there, I get typically the steak and egg, and it's, taco. And then I also get the brisket, which is yummy. And they have two kinds of hot sauce. And I love hot sauce because you've probably heard me talk about the salsa doña. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell Rich to get me that at Whole Foods. I'm nearly out too, and I love that stuff on eggs. Anyway, but the two hot sauces, one is, even for me, a little bit too hot for me, but the other one is just right. And so my nose runs. I mean, it's like super hot, and I love to put that on there. So anyway, that's the place that we supported this week. And they have we did not go there. Rich went there and then brought them home. And then what did we do? Oh, we watched Match Game. We watched Match Game from the 70s. That's what we did. Yes, it's a fun rockin' time here in the Carter household. Anyway, but when we go there, they have their margaritas. They had different flavors, usually different specials. And I've had these blood orange margaritas there, and I mean, really good stuff. And then they also have mimosas too. And so we'll hang out there and have our tacos and stuff. But right now, during what's going on, he just goes there, picks them up, brings them home, because we're just not going to hang out anywhere. You know what I mean? I don't know about you, but oh my gosh, this is going to drive me nuts. I'm just not ready for all that at all. Why is this happening? Why are my straws not working? I don't know. Okay, so that's something I wanted to talk to you about. And I did put on my community tab, because I wanted to talk to you about some things, and I wanted to gauge what your interest was. This one, I forgot to put it. I don't think I had enough choices. I think I only put 5 choices. But again, this week, I talked to Monica about this. Has anybody ever watched the show called Hoarders? Because I have watched that sometimes. Oh my God. I actually knew someone. I think she was a hoarder, and I helped her clean up when she left. Oh my gosh. They had to take out most of the sheetrock, halfway up the walls, because it was dog urine and cat urine. It was, oh my gosh, when I cleaned that place, it was horrible. But she was, quote, a friend. At the long, weird story, but she was quite a friend. Anyway, it's a guilty pleasure for you. Yes, I mean, it is for me too. So I put it on the other night, as I was just kind of laying in bed and watching whatever. I was like, I just want to kind of zone out. And as I was watching it, I thought, you know what? I think when you're in multi-level marketing, it's like you have a hoarder mentality. I don't mean that, you're just going to like have stuff everywhere, but I feel like you're cluttering your mind. And then usually in these hoarder episodes, you see them before. And I mean, they've got stuff all over the place. They're typically against somebody coming in and cleaning up everything. I mean, there's a mental illness usually going on of some sort. There's stuff going on. And so I thought about that. And it's like when it comes to multi-level marketing, just like they want to hold on to their stuff, people want to hold on to the belief that if they keep going, if they keep buying stuff, if they keep pitching even on someone's birthday, that somehow this is going to work out. I don't know. It just made me kind of, when I watched it, I just kept thinking about how people hold on to that, even though they can see the facts and that, it's not healthy and everything can be right in front of them, just like the hoarders will be like, just deny it and say like, oh, I feel perfectly safe here. And literally there's stuff up to the ceilings. There's nowhere to walk. They're cooking in their bathroom, like on a hot plate. I mean, a very unsafe condition to be living in. And, being in multi-level marketing, that's a very unsafe business to be in because the likelihood of quote success is slim and next to none. So I just kind of thought that it was interesting to me to kind of come up with that parallel. I'm not sure if that makes sense to you or not, but I mean, it's just something that just slipped into my mind. So if you ever watch it, think about that. See if you see the parallels in there, or see if you could, connect the dots like I kind of did. I don't know if I explained that well to you guys or not. Oh, I'm thirsting in this stupid straw. Maybe I need one of those metal straw things. But I have all these and I will use the same stinking straw forever. Maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know, but I will. All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is, okay. I put on there coaching business scheme to pony up. And what I found was something by the FTC about a coaching business. And to me, this was really interesting because, there I was trying to be a social media coach, and we all know that there are these, fake gurus like Grant Cardone, and I believe Monica and Savvy, you guys did a collab on them. And I know Monica, you've done some other fake gurus. CoffeeZilla does some great videos on fake gurus. Mike Winnett did a great video called Contrepreneur. And it's interesting to look at the tactics they're using because it's very similar to what goes on in MLM. I mean, it just really, really is. It's just also uncomfortable. So this is what I found. Operators of business coaching scheme will pay at least $1.2 million to settle FTC charges they deceive consumers starting new internet-based businesses. And that kind of really made like a light go off because I don't know if you've seen my Enagic series. The Enagic Hunbots, that's a water filtration MLM. The Enagic Hunbots, typically, at least I have found the ACE Initiative, if I can talk again, ACE Initiative, the Breakaway Movement, Darren and Mike, and there's the CEO Movement, and there are some other ones, but those are the ones that come to my mind, and I've covered, I think, 3 of the 4 of those. Anyway, they use like a course for you to buy a course. Usually it's a free webinar, so that's, part of the funnel. You're entering the funnel through the free webinar. Then you're offered a course. And then after you get the course, then you can be pitched to join Enagic because like the full course doesn't open up until you get the Enagic water filtration device, which is like $5,000. Oh, James Arthur Ray. Yeah, that's it. Tony Robbins. Yeah, you did that too. Okay. Thank you very much, Aurora, for the happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. So when I saw this, it made me think of these Enagic hun bots, and they're the ones, and it's so funny. They keep sending people to hate on the videos that I've made as if I care. Because as I've said in the past on a live, I'll be the Trisha Paytas of, being an MLM critic. I don't care. Hate on my stuff all you want and say the jank that you want. Maybe one day you'll realize that, what I'm saying, that there's a validity to it. But right now, maybe, it's just rose-colored glasses. You believe in the dream and all of that. So when I saw this about business coaches, it really made me think about all of these people offering these courses like Dan Locke, Ray Higdon. There's so many people. Just, put fake guru into, or even guru into YouTube and search for that. People will just come up or make money online. And there's all these people that have these things to sell to you, which in all honesty, you could buy a book, not by them. A book by someone like with real credibility. Or, take like a course from Udemy or what's the other one? I can't think of it. Not Udemy, but there's another one, Skillshare. That you could do that where it's like you're not paying through the nose to take something, because you can, or you can find stuff on YouTube probably for free, not by a fake guru, but by someone actually offering real advice, because their whole thing is just to get you hooked in, because after they sell you a course, a low cost one, then it's probably going to be like a mastermind. And then it's going to be a high ticket course. Then it's going to be a live event. It's just going to keep on upping the game so much. I know one person, I can't remember who the coach is, but I want to say that their mastermind, it's something like $10,000 a month, something insane. Can you imagine somebody paying you $10,000 a month to be in your mastermind? Really, I just think that's crazy. So this was, let me see. Okay, the people involved, and I haven't done any research into this. So if you guys want me to research who these people are or something, put a comment. I don't know if I can remember it from the live stream, from the chat, but a comment in the video, I guess after it finishes publishing, because I'm not sure how that works. If you can comment below the video now and it's not in the chat, I don't know. Do something, but let me know if you would like me to look at this. But it says, according to the FTC's complaint, position gurus and top shelf e-commerce and their owners, Aaron Poisky, Stacy Grigo, and Samuel Cohen Brown, target consumers who were looking for ways to make money by starting retail businesses on the internet. The defendants found many of their targets by purchasing consumers' contact information from other online business coaching operations that had already deceived the targets. Doesn't that make you uncomfortable? That makes me think about some of these affiliate things. And I was scammed by one. I'll be straight up. I was scammed by a fake guru, but it's like, okay, it's like once you get in that bubble, then you start getting to know those people, and then you can kind of get them into your thing too. And I can remember being in some of these groups where it's almost like we were all trying to pitch to each other, our offers or whatever that we were trying to do. And it's pretty crazy, but I found that interesting. And I'm really hoping that more people who are selling these opportunities to create a business online, be it drop shipping, Amazon FBA, and a host of other things, that people will start complaining to the FTC about it, because nothing is going to happen unless people open up their yaps and start talking about it. And I know people are embarrassed about it. I get that. But it's almost like you got to put that aside, because if you're not willing to talk about it, we can't save other people from the same type of things, So that was something that I wanted to share with you. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Pull up the right thing here. Okay, now this one is interesting. And again, I want to know if you want me to dig into this more. There was a romance novelist, and she actually went to the University of Houston. So there's a Houston connection to this crime. And there might be a fake guru or MLM connection to it. I don't know. Anyway, she was married to someone who was a chef who taught at a culinary institute in Oregon. And she is sitting in jail right now because she's accused of murdering him. And she tried to get out because of hashtag COVID-19. That didn't work. Well, I found it interesting because apparently she was selling insurance. And the woman is, at the time of his murder, she was 68 and she's now 69. And so when I heard she was selling insurance, I immediately thought of multi-level marketing. I thought of like Primerica or something, because it's like, you know what? Let's see, romance novelist who's self-publishing, and they're also having financial issues. That to me was just red flags for somebody who was vulnerable, you know? And so I thought, let me look at this. And again, I was talking to Monica about it. You just watched something on it? Yeah, it's interesting. I know Stephanie Harlow covered it, but I think there's more to the story, because when I started digging into, well, what's the company that she's been selling insurance through, and I found out it's a 503c. And then I saw the guy who started it. And when you go to the website, there's no website. No website. You can sign up for the newsletter. And it really looks like he's targeting older adults. And so that just sent up huge red flags to me, because I'm like, what is going on here? And and my spidey sense went off. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the guy is completely legit, but it's just, as Bailey Sarian would say, it's a fish. It's not passing my sniff test. Older woman. And I'm not saying that because of whatever this thing is, that's the reason she, killed her husband. And I got to watch the guy's videos. I'm kind of wondering what kind of tactics are being used, because you can be completely mentally transformed by people and by companies who are using thought reform tactics on you, which, if you have not watched my interview this week with Spike, I forgot what I called that video, but she and I cover, and is the book over here? Yeah. Okay. Lifton's, we cover chapter 22 in this, his thought reform criteria. I can't remember how many different criteria there are, but we cover all of that. And I attach it to how it, works with MLM. So I thought, like, what's going on with her? I think there's more to the story. I think that she was probably someone vulnerable, unhappy, and possibly got involved with something that kind of fed into that. Because you know how you can get all twisted up mentally. And she was with that company for 10 years. And it's not, again, I can't just get on their website. I can't locate anything. So I'm thinking, you've got to be doing it on your own. And so she had been doing it for, I think 10 years. So I'm kind of wondering, what are the tactics that are being used? And could those tactics have impacted her in some way? I don't know. Just fascinating. Right, Tiny? Yep. And that's why I'm wondering if you guys want me to go further into it. Just let me know, because it's something that it's I'm interested in it because it's a Houston connection. I'm interested in it because of the romance novel. I'm interested in it because he worked at a culinary school. My husband works at a restaurant. My parents had a restaurant. I dated a chef at one point. Hey, Deanna, thank you very much for the happy birthday. So let me know if you would be interested in that. Okay, now moving on to the next thing. All right, stepping on toes gracefully. This past week, I don't know if you saw it, but I did a video on a Beachbody coach who I did not name, who happens to be a Mormon. It happens to be a Mormon dude. And here's the thing, because I have mentioned it before. I'm starting my research on that. I really think that you have to look at the social context and the historical nature and the development of religion within the U.S. and connect it to when multi-level marketing started, because there's a thread. There's some kind of thread that weaves in a belief system. And for me, I'm just going to throw belief system over religion and use a different word. because I think that we should be able to question our beliefs and think about, why do I believe this? How did I come to believe it? How is it impacting me? What is the social function? So I'm kind of looking at all of that in terms of how is all of this stuff operating within our culture? And then how can that, because it really seems to me that a belief system can be weaponized by multi-level marketing. And it's like it's used against you in some way because you have that thought process, those deep inherent beliefs, and now you layer MLM on top of it that has similar things in terms of the prosperity gospel interwoven into it to, have faith. You only fail if you quit, and all those sorts of the things. So for me, stepping on toes gracefully means being able to lift that hood up and look at what do people believe? Now, I have nothing against anybody who has a belief system in, Baptist, Methodist, Hindu. I mean, I don't care. I absolutely do not care. I am very neutral, and I try to approach things in a neutral perspective. Do I know everything about all of these things? Of course not. Of course not. I don't. I, find out what I can, do my research. I provide my opinion at that time, which can change as I learn more. Now, my background, just so you guys know, when I'm talking about maybe 5 years old, I was just fascinated by belief systems. And I was like, why am I supposed to believe this? And so little Alonda started collecting Bibles because I thought if I collected enough of them, somehow magically it was all going to make sense to me. And that didn't work. I mean, because they were all the same. They're all King James versions. Now, I also went to an Episcopal school most of my life. And so we went to chapel like every day. And I was always like, why do I have to believe this? I just started asking questions. And I can remember being at a vacation Bible school in Austin, because I used to go to Austin in the summer. And I want to say it was a Methodist church, it's interesting when you start looking into how religion has transformed within the US. And it became very clear to me that it was unacceptable for me to ask questions, and that I just basically should stop and not ask, and I should just accept. And that never sat well with me. I'm like, well, why can't I? Why isn't it okay? Why can't I? It's perfectly okay for you to question anything. It's fine to do your own research and start trying to figure things out. As human beings, we should do that. It's called using your critical thinking. And so for me, doing it gracefully is that, basically, I'm not here to hate on what anybody believes in at all. But what I am here to do is go like, what is that belief? What is a social function? And how can it possibly be used to cause people to behave in the ways that they do within multi-level marketing? That's kind of where I'm going with all of that. But I know I'm going to get flack from it because I know it's a touchy subject and people get very uncomfortable, especially if they have never questioned their own belief system, if they happen to be in a belief system where you're not permitted, so to speak, to question it, that you're just supposed to accept it and be done with it, because who are you? You're just a little mortal. Why should you be questioning anything? And in my view, it's like, well, because I think I should be able to question and seek answers. And it wasn't until I was an undergrad, and where I went to undergrad, you had to take 9 hours of theology and 9 hours of philosophy. It was in my very first philosophy course that I went, holy crap, other people have questioned this. I'm not the only one. I'm not the freak I was made to think that I was, to question it. And I went to a Catholic university. And I ended up with a minor in theology, and it was really fun to study everything critically, look at the Bible critically, and to look at also other religions too. I was just completely fascinated by all of that. But I can remember when I was taking philosophy, and I'm not going to remember the ontological argument. Maybe it was that if that was Aquinas or not. And I know there was the unmoved mover and just different ways that people were trying to explain like the existence of God. And I was just fascinated by all of that. I was like, wow, this is really cool that other people, I'm not the first person in the history of people that have had questions. And people have written about this. So it kind of made me feel like it was okay. It's okay for me to have questions. It's okay for me to ask questions. And so I'm telling you, if you have questions, it's okay. And it's okay for someone to have questions about what you believe in. It's not an attack on you as a person. It's just more of like, let's look at this. Let's try to be neutral and look at it and see what's going on and why, that's all it is. Yes, it is, Aurora, the psychology of it. Yeah. And I mean, it fascinates me. And that's also what led me into studying anthropology. And I don't have the book in here I remember the Nuer, I studied them. And that's a group in Africa. And the cow is very sacred to them. And they use every single piece of the cow, including the urine and the blood. And I don't remember much else other than that. But I've always been very fascinated in, people and cultures, what they believe in, why they believe in it, how they came to have those beliefs. And so that's basically where I'm going into when I'm looking at this. And, if I don't want you to be offended. And if I ever offend you, it's not like I'm going in this, to be a bitch and just start, attacking people. It's really to be, reflective on this. That's the intent. But I don't know if people will be open to that. I don't know if it's going to rub people the wrong way. I expect it to rub people the wrong way. But I will say this. I think we learn the most when we get uncomfortable. And when something kind of makes us squirm a little bit and be like, oh, because it could be rubbing up against something that you've held on to, but maybe the back of your head, you weren't so sure about all that, So, be okay with, it's like, oh, this doesn't feel good, but just kind of ride through it and see, see if something makes you like, kind of like, that cat on the roof, it's like kind of claws out and just kind of freaking out a little bit, just kind of take a deep breath and know that it's not an attack on you. It's just examining something. And it's examining something from a perspective of what I know right now, because I do a lot of research and read a lot of things and listen to stuff. And then I, draw on my own background with all the different books I have on stuff. And, and I try to put it together because what I'm really sharing with you is my own personal journey of trying to make sense of what happened to me in multi-level marketing and what's happening to other people. It's like, as I try to unravel this enormous, ball of yarn of all this stuff tangled up together, I'm trying to find oh, here's the blue color. Let's lay that. Oh, here's the red one. And they're all just intermingled so tightly. And so that's what I'm doing, is I'm trying to share that with you as I figure it out for myself. And like I said, what I think about today could be different tomorrow based on something else that I learn, and I'm not going to get everything right. And I'm not saying that I'm right and that I'm the authority. Please do your own research. Please look at things and be, open to the possibility of well, maybe this is impacting me in a way that I never considered before. I didn't think of it like that. Just try to be open. That's all I'm saying. All right. Now, moving on to this kind of dovetails. Oh, good. Not. I'm still thirsty. Dovetails into the Quiverfull Mom, because everybody seemed to be very interested in this. And now let me see if I can open this link. Do you ever have it where things just don't work electronically, and it's you try to open shit up and it just isn't working? Because that just seems to be my life. And I thought and I'm now all of a sudden getting really hot. These lights are full up and hot. I will tell you that. Okay. A while back, I want to say it was sometime in the mid-fall of 2019, and it was on Facebook on my Recovering Hunbot page that I received a message, and somebody asked me to look at, and I don't know if I'm going to get the name right. I think it's on A&E. Welcome to Plathville. Has anybody watched Welcome to Plathville? And they basically were asking me, thank you very much, Posey. If you've watched Welcome to Plathville, then, you're going to be familiar with a Quiverfull family because that's what they subscribe to. Now, as far as I understand, and I want to say it was on Chris Shelton's channel that he did an interview, a 2-part interview of somebody who had been in Quiverfull. And it's not like, I guess like when you think of like a Baptist, Methodist, Catholic, where it's like that. It seems like it's kind of a part of something. And it comes from a Psalms, and I don't remember which Psalms it is, and I think it is in this article that I'm pulling up. But basically, Quiverfull is have as many children as God permits you to have. You don't use any form of birth control. It's very divided in terms of like socially, like men have this role, women have this role, women take care of the house, women need to be available for their husband when their husband is, wants, bow chicka wow wow. That's just how I'm going to put it. But so they're just like, it's I guess, and then in Plathville, I'm trying to just figure out how I'm going to say this. What bothered me about Plathville, because it's the Plath that the show is about, is that, and they live on a lovely farm. It's beautiful. But it was like the children only had friends with each other. And they were homeschooled. And I'm not saying homeschooling is wrong or you shouldn't homeschool. So don't come at me with that, because that's not the case. But I will say this, having been a classroom teacher and having dealt with kids who were homeschooled, and then they came to the private school where I was at. I also taught at a public school, but in this instance, it was a private school where I taught. They had a difficult time, I guess, socializing into what it was like to be in a school because they had never done it before. It was a real difficult transition. So when I watched it, that's something that I kept thinking of, is that and part of it, I think it's beautiful that you want to provide this idyllic life for your child. And I get that. But at the same time, it's like, but if they're not part of society and they're living apart from it, it seems like it's going to be harder for them when they do become an adult to get a job, do the things that adults need to do in terms of being responsible. It's just like, it just seemed like could be questionable. And I think it was only 1 season so far. And I think there was only 6 episodes. I don't know if it was canceled or not or whatnot. But anyway, so I came across this article talking about someone who is a Plexus #bossbabe, who also is in the Quiverfull movement. And I don't know if I'm saying that correctly or wrongly or, whatever. But anyway, and I can't remember how many children she has. I think the most well-known person or couple is, the Duggars, whatever their names are, because I think they have like 19 kids or something. And honestly, I can't imagine having that many children. I mean, it's like having kids is expensive. It's just like really flipping expensive. It's like, oh, good golly, how do you do all of that? I don't know. But I think the part that got to me is, okay, and I'm going to read it to you. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Others, like Captain Cassidy of Roll to Disbelieve, and I'm not sure what that is, have noted that there is something inherent about multi-level marketing, or MLMs, that evangelical Christians are particularly vulnerable to. I don't know if it's because they are already immured into a society that teaches any deep analytical thinking is a sin, or because they are just more gullible. Now, I don't think it's because people are just more gullible. I don't think being gullible has anything to do with it. I think it's being vulnerable. That's my perspective. I am pretty sure that financial desperation plays a large part as well. I don't know if it would say it's desperation. I would say financial desire myself. Let's look at how this happens for many women, I can talk, stuck in the subculture of Quiverfull. Lots of kids staying home to raise those kids and homeschool them, likely married without many skills or such of an education, stuck at home all the time while the husband works one or several jobs trying to support his huge brood of children. Feeling guilty for not significantly contributing to family finances, falling further and further into debt, finding buying used and saving the difference, like Michelle Duggar suggests, does not put any extra chicken legs on the family dining room table. Trapped by a theology that says the mothers cannot work except from home, they sometimes fall into the exploitive clutches of the MLM world. And they lack the education and life skills to, since they are being used by an over-enthusiastic peer. Now, education has nothing to do with this. It really doesn't. So to me, that's just, people don't seem to understand that it's not people who are uneducated that fall for MLMs. It's just like only people who don't have an education fall for an MLM. That's not the case. It's like people across the board. It doesn't matter. It depends on where you are in your life and if you are vulnerable. And I can see someone who is in this culture of Quiverfull being vulnerable because, maybe they do want to bring in some money. They do want to do something a bit more meaningful, especially if I'm thinking, as children get older and stuff, and after a while, you're not going to be able to have any more kids. It can look like, wow, this might be the way. Because I know I sure thought it was the way. It wasn't the way. It absolutely wasn't. But I did want to also share this with you. One of the biggest problems is the constant pressure to perform. The endless sales meetings you must attend, the fact they spend enormous time pressuring you to recruit others. There are many of the same high pressure tactics that are using in high demand religions, so it feels very comfortably familiar to the participants. And I agree with that. And I would also say, if you heard me and Spike talk about if you have been in an abusive relationship, it's kind of like the same thing. It's like you're already used to being in something where you're being mistreated in some way. And MLM continues to abuse you. But it's a known kind of a thing, and you can just blame yourself because you just didn't work hard enough. You just didn't want it enough, or you're just not being blessed by God because you're not chosen. Or you're like, there's all kinds of twisted things I think that can happen to people. And that performance comes at a cost. Sometimes it's the high cost of finding out that you suddenly owe the IRS much more money because they are calculating every single bonus, prices, and discounts as earned taxable business income, or having to order thousands of dollars worth of product to stay actively receiving payment from the parent company. And that definitely makes me think of like LuLaRoe especially. Oh my goodness. Oh, you shared it on Mombi? Yeah, it is a very good article. When you say people raise, yes, there's that whole nature nurture thing that definitely plays into something that goes into the belief systems. If you have been raised in a belief system that, has you thinking in this way, I do think it's going to impact you. We all enter everything that we do in life with our own biases based on our own experiences, because each and every single one of us are human beings. We can't help that. We just can't. But it is apparently Jill does, promote Plexus. Now, I haven't looked into her. If you would like me to do kind of a deep dive into her, again, put some kind of comment below the video and let me know, because I am fascinated in people in general who are, and I think Monica has talked about this in a couple of videos, who use religion to sell MLM, and the Mormon robot that I did is like, he kind of does that too. And there's this other one, I can't think of what her name was, but it doesn't matter. But I know she was in Beachbody. And there's a lot of Beachbody Huns that will use faith as a way to market themselves. And I think that can be highly, highly dangerous. Let me see. Oh, I want to say it was with Advocare and this couple from Dallas. And I want to say, and it's been a while. So don't come at me. I may have it wrong, but if memory serves, two of the people that ended up like owing money for Advocare. One was a pastor and the other was his wife. And you think about it. If you're the pastor of a church, are you going to have like a captivated audience? Are you going to have people that are going to want to do, what you say, what you offer, what you're promoting? I would think so. I would think so. Aurora, what is the rabbit hole specifically? Is it religion? Is it, Jill? Is it Quiverfull and MLM? Tell me specifically, because I need to know. I need help. What can I say? I need help. I need help in a lot of things. My husband right now, I think he's looking for remoulade sauce. I usually make fresh remoulade sauce, but I'm just not feeling it right now. And he went shopping today to get dinner because obviously we're not going out to dinner because of, things and all of that. But he went to Whole Foods, and the Whole Foods by us, and they're not everywhere, but the Whole Foods by us have these jumbo lump crab cakes that are amazing. So we got that, and usually, hey there, Jess. And usually we'll get like lobster bisque. And right now, Whole Foods doesn't have out like lobster bisque. So he got like some cans, like some high-end stuff and some jumbo lump crab meat. So we're going to fix that bisque. And he also got shrimp for a shrimp cocktail. So this is going to be kind of a different little birthday feast. And I think, what are we planning on watching? I think we're probably going to watch a couple of episodes of Schitt's Creek. I got him watching it, but he's way far behind. I think we're now finally on season 2 of it. We've also been watching some shows that are like the history of Hollywood. And what I'm finding interesting about this is because as I'm doing some research, I'm doing research right now into a con artist that is before Ponzi, and everything that this person put together and like how this person promoted, those tactics are still being used today in marketing and by MLM and by these fake gurus and all of this. So I'm digging into all of that because I think it's important to look at those things as well. I mean, it's one thing to deconstruct just an MLM. It's another thing, I think, to take it out piece by piece by piece and look at all these little things and how they all work together. And how they work together is quite frightening because it keeps people trapped in something that's quite horrible, in my opinion, allegedly. So there. Let me see. I think those are the things that I really wanted. There's Tamale. She's making an appearance. I think she wants to go get water or something. Those are the things that I wanted to cover, but if any of these things sound like something you would like me to go into greater detail and create a video about, definitely let me know. I have something else coming up on, oh goodness. Well, I have a video coming out next week about a celebrity who is a member of an MLM. I'm also thinking about diving into other celebrities who have promoted MLM. I have another video that does talk about some celebrities promoting an MLM. And also this particular MLM I'm going to talk about tries to say that it's not one. I mean, how many times have we heard that crap? I mean, honestly, how many times have we heard that? Why is it every single one of these companies like, oh, we're different. We're different. Are you? Let me see. You require recruiting. You require people to pay something to stay active. You have these weird titles. Let's see. The only way you can really make money is by recruiting other people and trying to recruit other people. I mean, they all start the same way. And then they have the free trips that aren't free and these cars. I mean, all these weird programs. And Monica and I were talking about Deanna, you are correct. You are correct. I am getting into some Miss Tori spelling. And honestly, I invite Tori to talk to me on my channel. I would love this, and I'll give you a little heads up because I say this in the video. I believe we need a celebrity champion willing to step up and step out and talk about multi-level marketing and be honest about it, not promote it. Be able to say, holy crap, this is awful, and no celebrity should be promoting this crap. And this is why. We need that because we need someone that can really amplify our message. We need someone willing to understand at a deep level of how multi-level marketing works and all of these things, how the psychology works on you and all of that. Because if we don't have someone to really amplify it, it's really hard, Exactly. Preying on fans. Yes. Yep. Exactly. And then guess what? The other people can't repeat that, Who here can compete with a celebrity? I know I can't. But I welcome Tori and Ian, whatever his last name is. I welcome them to come and talk to me on my channel. And, let's chat about how's that going for your fans and how many people have stayed in? How much money are they making? Are you really able to coach them and teach them how to get to the top? Can you really do that? And I don't think the answer is yes. I think that they've been doing it long enough to have seen most people can't do it, but they probably have bought the narrative and they're just going to say, well, they just didn't work hard enough and they quit. They just really didn't apply the steps correctly. Because unless you do it correctly, it's not going to work. So obviously you're a loser and it's your fault because it didn't work for you. Look, it's working for me. Did you not see all this? Ba-da-boom. And that's just wrong. That's just wrong. So those are some things coming up. So let me know again if any of this sounds like you would like me to go deeper into it. And so look for those things coming out. And I've got, okay, you know what? You want to see how fancy I am? My ideas that I have for stuff, index cards. That's what I keep, a stack of index cards. How sad is that? But it's like, you know what? If I put it electronically somewhere, I'm going to forget where I put that stinking piece of paper. So now I just have I'll just stack this stuff up and I'll see, what kind of it sounds inspiring, all of that. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining me and celebrating my birthday. I appreciate it. Massive love to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being part of my community. I appreciate every time you watch a video, every comment you leave, whether you give me a thumbs up or thumbs down, all of that stuff. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Have an awesome rest of your evening. And I am going to now get ready for my birthday feast. So I'll see you guys later and, look for my next videos. Bye.